Hey folks, welcome back to Canada's Boxing Channel. Hope everyone's doing well. So we are 24, 30 something hours away from Fabio Wardley and Justis Huni. They've had the final presser and they've had the final weigh-in. The weights, there was £5 between them, so nothing really. I think it was 243, 248, 243 to Wardley. So a smidge, literally a smidge lighter than Huni. It's not going to be relevant, I don't think, to the fight. Final presser, much of the same. Discussion of Wardley's greater power versus Huni's thought to be greater boxing experience and technical skill set. A respectful press conference. Both these guys are now ready to fight. There's no nonsense, no tables being thrown, none of the usual stuff. None of the stuff that we would have had if we'd had Big Baby Miller there. But Big Baby Miller is doing other things. Fabio also made a few comments to various outlets, including Boxing Now and these other big ones with 80, 100,000 subscribers and such things. In no particular order, Fabio mentioned Portman Road. He said he will have all the ingredients of a spectacular fight. It could be a rowdy night. Because Portman Road, home of Ipswich Town Football Club, as the season ticket holders will be there, lots of people will be there, a big football crowd will be there. It might not be a crowd that's absolutely full of boxing fans. There could be a lot of people who are, hey, this is a big event down at the football club and Fabio Wardley's headlining. It could be very, very loud. Fabio's clearly excited about it. Though he said, this is a good thing. He said it hasn't really settled in. It hasn't really sort of, registered, I suppose, that he's headlining a show at his home football club. He's promised entertainment, fireworks, and knockout. Well, Fabio usually does provide those things, right? So that's what he's promised. It's interesting that Teddy Atlas, the well-known trainer, former part of Mike Tyson's training camp. Teddy Atlas apparently has bet $1,500 on Huni to win. So Teddy Atlas sees something in Huni. As I joked with one of the other guys on the WhatsApp group I'm on, I'm not sure that Teddy would be spending his own money doing that, but he clearly sees something in Huni. And a lot of you on here, a lot of subscribers on here are saying very favorable things about Justis Huni. So I think, we are going to get a good fight. There's no doubt about it. Let me see, because I made some notes from various pressers and things so that, you don't have to go through all the stuff that I went through kind of thing. Fabio repeated that he picked Huni, or he chose Huni, from a fairly short list. He said because he was game, he comes to fight keen, hungry, he will mix it. So clearly Fabio was looking, when Big Baby Miller pulled the plug, Fabio was looking for somebody who's going to make this a worthwhile event, right? He doesn't want somebody in there who's, going to cause the crowd to sort of sit back and go, well, what did we come down here for, right? Fabio thinks that Matchroom, Matchroom, of course, knows Fabio well. Fabio thinks Matchroom has made a mistake in picking Huni, or putting forward Huni, because Wardley's more experienced now than he was when he was with Matchroom, and he's used to big events. But Wardley did say that maybe Matchroom saw something, but he doesn't worry about what people think about him. He doesn't worry about what somebody else is seeing. He just worries really about his own feelings and what his training team. Like, he's got this close group of guys. He says, these are people I'm worrying about, right? If these guys see something, we work on it and all that. But if somebody else says, oh, I've seen that he's got some weakness, he doesn't let his head or his team's head sort of get confused about that. If Fabio Wardley was asked about some people he might be interested in fighting if he gets through Huni. He was asked about Wilder or Dave Allen. Interesting, Dave Allen's getting mentioned by everybody now, right? He was asked about them as potential opponents. He said, look, I'm not really interested. I'm on a trajectory. Clearly, I think we can all see what Fabio's trajectory is. Trajectory to go as far as he possibly can, to get a strap, going sort of fighting somebody who's topical, like Allen right now, or previously famous like Wilder. That doesn't really fit Wardley's game plan, right? He spoke about white collar. He said, white collar, it makes it more difficult to become a professional. Because he said, you can't sort of say, unlike in the amateurs where you say, okay, I'm going to go to this gym, I'll have so many fights, I'm going to try and win a cup or a title or a medal, and then I can become professional. He said, white collar, it's a harder route. So that was interesting. And we know, of course, that former white-collar fighters are very unorthodox as well, right? So that makes them harder to fight against, I'm sure. Excuse me, please. It's interesting. On the Allen thing, I mean, we're spending so much time talking about Dave Allen because of the Johnny Fisher fight, of course. Fabio Wardley didn't think that Dave Allen would do so well against Wilder. Much is being spoken about Dave Allen and Wilder right now, right? And so Wardley was saying, Wilder, he's got that hand, right? It can sort of, lights out. So Wardley was like, I don't know about Wilder, Wardley also said he thought that Johnny Fisher would have learned more. And that's interesting, because Fisher was basically Wardley thinks that Fisher should have taken more lessons from the first fight. An interesting observation. As you all know, I like Fabio Wardley. I also like Justis Huni from what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing. Oh, and I'm pleased he's got away with the blonde on top. He's gone back to a more natural colouring. I'm not sure about that sort of hair colour stuff, although it doesn't matter. Huni seems like a decent guy. Dare to fight, big, solid, skilled, capable guy. It's going to be an interesting fight for as long as it lasts. I think the only way for Huni to win is on points. I think that Fabio could win on points over a distance fight, but I'm thinking around 6-7-ish Fabio's going to get to Huni, and I'm thinking that the fight will end there. But regardless, top marks to both fellows. I like both. I am a supporter, if you like, or a fan. I'm not even sure if I like using that word, of Fabio. So I'm sort of rooting, cheering, clapping away for Fabio. But if Justis Huni wins, well done, top marks, wish you well in your future career and all that sort of stuff. So it's a good fight with no bad guy in it. And I think it'll be entertaining. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Please like, please share, please subscribe. And I'll see you a little bit later on. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.